So I asked actually our technical team to close the lights because I would like to ask everybody a very important question. Who amongst here believes in education? If you do, can you please get your phones, turn on the lights, the flashlights of your phone. If you believe in education, please turn on the lights, raise it up, and let us show everybody on how we value education. Can you look at the person beside you? How amazing is it that everybody in this room actually believes in it, and everybody is in this room as well knows that it is a tool that supports every endeavor that we have. Please don't put it down first. I have a question here. Who amongst you are CEOs? If not, please put it down. Who amongst you are mothers? If yes, please raise it up. Who amongst you are fathers, probably? Of course, not to discount that. Good. And who amongst you are lifelong learners? Amazing. Look at those lights. Beautiful, right? Today, I will be speaking about transforming education within the workspace. You may now, okay. Transform education within the workspace. Great things happen to those who don't wait. That is the topic of today's Asia CEOs event. You see, not too long ago, I was just like you, who went into education, like grade school, high school, college. I wasn't able to take my MBA, but maybe most of you did. But amongst all the things that I have been doing, I was also in corporate. I was also dabbling on so many things. There was one heartache that I keep on having. It is this thirst for a bigger thing. I keep on asking myself, how come a lot of people don't seem to find harmony in what they do? Why is there dirty politics in the workplace? So last year, it was a privilege that I spoke in a TEDx opportunity in Lyceum University. And it was a privilege as well because I spoke in front of 200 students who was also figuring out life in itself. They were asking, how can we be like you? I wanted to tell them, how can I be like you again? If only I knew that I would be where I am right now. I wish I could have done more. But then again, I was a lot of things back then too. I myself have big dreams and ambitions. And a mentor told me, Kassy, you have to dream bigger. Who amongst you have a dream? Amazing. Look at each other. We all have a dream. And it doesn't stop there. Once you achieve one dream, comes another, right? And this is where your ambition, as much as you embrace it, you also have to drive it. And it really flutters my heart because I keep on hearing this collaboration, in the workplace. In fact, I'm actually having this spark of joy when he was saying that you can already change the background on your Microsoft Teams. So maybe I can get a Surface someday. So, so collaboration over competition. I remember when I was in the hospitality industry, sales and marketing are always enemies. Is it still happening right now? And then finance team would barge in and say, hey, sales and marketing, I'm the one who is making the decision here, correct? Right. But with collaboration over competition, if there is this discussion, no, scrap that. If there is a dialogue where empathy and kindness comes along, there's no such a thing as politics or there's no such a thing as discussions anymore, if everybody is aligned. If there's anything that made me review my TEDx presentation at that time, wherein I reviewed and to share them also my vision board, this was the only thing that was missing in my life. How can I be a catalyst of social change? Imagine I wrote this when I was 16 years old on my vision board. I became so many things. Everything that was on that board happened. I became a Jill, or maybe a Jack, well, Jill of all trades, but there was no expertise. But at the end of the day, I was just looking for this, a catalyst of social change. How can a person be? Who amongst you here wants to be a catalyst of social change? Did you know that you are a catalyst of social change? Who amongst you agrees with me? Yes. If you haven't figured that out, maybe you should ask yourself more. When was the last time that you turned off the water faucet because it's been running continuously? When was the last time you threw the water bottle properly in the recycle bin? Those little efforts are actually a contribution to social change. But of course, sabi nga ng mentor ko, you are not dreaming bigger. You are saying embrace your ambition, but what is that ambition that you're driving? Tama nga naman, I said. How? Are you also asking yourself how? Yes. There is a problem between the old school education that we have. No, I'm not saying that's really old school, but it's traditional. Sorry for the word. The problem here is that everybody is saying that we are a society of learners. We keep on saying we are lifelong learners. In fact, a while ago you said you are a lifelong learner. Remember the lights? And everybody here in this room had your light on. The problem is you are a lifelong learner, but what are you doing about it? The equation here is, which I also realize, is that it is the after learning wherein life creates an impact. And with that impact, it creates transformation. Are you allowing yourself to learn as much and transform into a better person? Education doesn't need to be reformed. It needs to be transformed. I know you guys have been hearing or reading the buzzword unschooling. Who amongst you are actually having their kids on homeschooling, or maybe your friends, right? Homeschooling. Why? We'll get into that later. As we transform and grow, not only we become our best selves, but we get to live our calling, we get to better serve our others. Buzzword. So much buzzword. But then again, how? Maybe what you have to ask yourself is this: what am I capable of? What else can I do between all these things that I've been doing? No, actually not between, what you're actually currently doing. I was also like you, who was in a 9-to-5 job. Heck, 80%, no, maybe 110% of my time now is dedicated to the startup that we're bootstrapping. And I tell you, it's been very hard. But why am I doing it? I'm doing it because I am here for you to encourage each other, and for me also to encourage you to grasp education and transform your life, not just becoming a lifelong learner itself. In order for you to achieve your dreams, you also have to take action. Agree? Yes or yes? Yes. It is the intuitive approach wherein leaders should also touch base on their kindness and their empathy. The problem is we have been so soaked up with our jobs that we forget our hearts. It's all about the logic. Before, I was asking myself as well, maybe I should have a fintech company. Maybe I should put more technology in my company. Maybe technology. But when I ask questions on what our corporate professional needs, I'll share to you what their answers were. Learning through education is a privilege, not a luxury. It's actually your birthright. I hope you get to touch base with your inner child and tell yourself that when you were a child, nothing ever matters. Not until you finally learn how to ride the bike. You get bruised, right? You get all this owie, that's our baby, the babies would say owie, right? Or then you get hurt several times. But once you ride the bike and you actually make use of the bike, it feels so heavenly. Do you still remember that? Well, if those of you doesn't know how to ride a bike, maybe it's time for you to do so, right? Okay, so over 40% of Gen Z and Millennials learners and 33% of Gen X and Boomers learners crave for self-directed learning experiences. What does that mean? They wanted to have more opportunities that is crafted within their interests. Something that will also hone and sharpen the saw. It's amazing because a huge population globally are looking at giving employees a learning opportunity beyond what they're usually doing. And it took me a while as well to realize this. It's amazing because these are few questions that I myself ask. Apparently, it's not just me who's asking. Sige nga, who amongst you have already said this? How to life ba? Diba? How to adult? There's no manual or dummies, unlike before. How to become a CEO? It was never taught in school. But there are those of you who have reached the status. But does it really matter? How to become an entrepreneur? Now there are schools, but really it doesn't matter. Rhyme yun ah. How to become? Whatever your question is. I will never forget this day. April 27, well, 3 days, April 27 to 28 at Bonifacio Global City, we were tapped to create a huge event in the amphitheater. And mind you, the very ambitious me, after my mentor said, "You're not dreaming big," I said yes to this endeavor. In 1 month, we were able to receive 3,000 sign-ups, 700 attendees in 3 days. 60 brands supported us, 40 speakers. We had also a mini job fair. We had celebrities who also supported us. And of course, LinkedIn flew in to help us. Mind you, zero capital. How did I do it? It still baffles me on what a simple exercise I did, which turned this fateful day into magic. It was so magical. It was the power of asking, the power of saying what you actually need. The problem here, we were taught in school to have proposals. We were taught in school to give them values. We were taught in school to give this amount to this. Everything, we're all about money. But what if you ask for their core to help you? Again, we had 3,000 sign-ups, 700 attendees, 60 brands, 40 speakers. Would you want to know how much we gained during this 3-day event? Would you want to know how much? In 1 month, we were able to collect 1 million pesos. Mind you, it wasn't easy as well. I mean, my board of advisors and my teammates knew how much I cried. I wasn't really sleeping well, but I had my why. But because of this as well, it also proved something, that the university alone isn't preparing us for the future of work. Again, the title is Adulting Starter Pack. Ano ba talaga yon? How to adult, right? This is when I realized that it's time for us to reinvent education. It's time for us to transform education. It's time for us to advocate lifelong learning. And this is the time for us to support one another to grow. What are you doing? When you drive your ambition, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be mean with each other. When you drive ambition, it just means that you're pursuing what your heart desires. And it is beyond monetary returns. Again, things happen for a reason. There is no season. Of course, after that 3 days event, I asked myself, what's next? Why am I doing this? So after this event, is this just going to be another activation where I prove myself that I can do it? No. What I realized then that there are more things that needs to be done because you asked for it. We have to redefine education, how it looks like. So I asked myself, I brainstormed, I wrote it down, and I placed everything on my sheet of paper, doodle, doodle, doodle. Mind you, I've pivoted our business several times. It's no easy feat. Heck, I don't have that six-figure income that I used to have. But everything is worth it. Did you go that 7 out of Filipinos don't have a dream? We had this study, and we also had an event gearing towards this. It was a cry fest. We had 200 millennials in that room, and we were all crying because there were a lot of hard work shared, not just hard work. Problem is, in this society, we are taught to work hard, work smart, but what about your heart? And the reason why 7 out of 10 Filipinos doesn't have a dream, it's because of lack of support system. It's not even poverty. And we're very happy because with this study, it also reached Catriona Gray, and she shared it also during the Miss Universe Q&A. And it sparked a lot of dreams that it's okay. Heck, in fact, when I was younger, a lot of people would say you're so ambitious negatively. Who amongst you are ambitious? Can I see a raise of hands? Who amongst you were scared to share your ambition to other people because they might judge you? They would say, ambisyosa mo, ambisyoso mo. Right? Why? If it drives you. The challenge here is the opportunity, and this is why we're still continuously bootstrapping, and we are on our 2nd year. With that one event, would you imagine that now we were able to mount a cumulative of 100 plus workshops and trainings for the corporate professionals. And it keeps on validating. I stopped checking, I stopped counting the days and the months. What's important for me is that we were able to help you tap your inner potential. We were also had, just previously last July, a very ambitious goal, which I never thought that we could have accomplished. We had 1 month free education for all. 1 month with zero capital again. And that is where collaboration happens. We also had 4 summits, including Social Media Week. By the way, it's happening again this November. We had 20 city retreats wherein we were able to unload your inner baggages. We were able to also have partners such as Spaces also as our co-working partner, wherein we have this modern day education service. You can come in as an affordable price. When was the last time you went to an educational seminar for 500 pesos? None. For your CDP, is that CPD unit? It has to cost around 3.5, 7.5. But come to think of it, you attend, you had a certificate, but did it really transform you? Is it because of compliance? I'm not saying compliance is not important, but it is very important. But what's actually more important is how you comply to yourself, for yourself. And what's even more amazing with this one was dreams do come true. I'm a fan of Mind Valley University. Is there anybody here who knows Mind Valley University? I'm a huge fan of Mind Valley University. It's a global startup who also advocates transformative education. And one of them is a good mentor of mine. Well, he may not know it yet. Well, he does, actually. Vishen Lakyani is plays a huge part in my life. And because of that, Mind Valley University, last July 27, flew in the Philippines to also help us mount this 1 month activation event. And that is because we believe in education to transform you. So imagine, 1 month. Before I forget, we had 4,000 students in that 1 month activation. So would you imagine, I have 15,000 plus on my database, wherein these people registered to all our education platform. There is a study, and expert says that there will be a co-working space demand to grow by 15% in 2030. Co-working space nowadays serves and acts like coffee shops. Heck, coffee shops now needs to transform themselves into a co-working space. It's such, I'm about to get married in December, and I've been thinking about this as well, that the average increase in school fees is 6.9. Imagine if you have a child, now you have a child who's 1 year old and you have to spend 1 million pesos for their education. So that's how many times, how many years? Why does it have to be that expensive? Are we really paying for the education? Or are we just paying for the cool stuff? I'm not saying for us not to go for education or not to enroll them in your favorite school or favorable school. Heck, I still want them to go to De La Salle Zobel. I want them to still go to De La Salle University. Or maybe AIM, Cornell University, heck, Harvard. But come to think of it, when was the last time you were able to use the lessons that you learned in school? Sige nga, biology, were you able to still apply it? Maybe a little. But what really matters most during our university days is that the experiences that we were able to gather, we were able to experience. Those are the memorable ones that made us who we are right now. Do you agree? Yes or yes? Yes. Our mission is to provide education for the children of remote cities and provinces. That's why we have to start somewhere. Another thing is that we wanted sana like happiness at the workplace. I know it's going to be difficult, but there is a way. And age didn't matter. Would you imagine? Well, I think you already realized that the children nowadays, or the youth nowadays, age 25 years old, or maybe 21 and above, they know more than you are, what you do. Sige nga, email marketing. You have to study it on the fly, correct? But these children, or this youth, for them, it's nothing but, okay, mom, it's easy, send. Heck, Facebook Messenger. I remember when I was in Wyoming, MySpace was still a thing. Batchmates ko naman kayo, di ba? MySpace was still a thing. There was this store that has a plaster. Learn MySpace now for $10. Like, really? Why do you have to enroll for MySpace or Facebook? But the youth, they can just easily tinker it, correct? So this is where lifelong learning happens, so the more. You keep on upgrading yourself, and age didn't matter. Age doesn't matter. If we learn from the youth, and the youth also learns from us, there is wisdom, and there's more happiness instead of judging one another. Instead of saying, I know it better, why not, okay, how can I do things better? So before I went into this event, I had a survey. Yes, I conducted a survey and research on what else do you want to learn. 20% of 2,000 corporate respondents answered these. Kassy, how to become a better parent? I was asking about education, right? Kassy, how to raise a child? How to create a vision board, so on and so forth. And here is where Neil Gaiman said, I've been making a list of things they don't teach you at school. They don't teach you how to love somebody. They don't teach you how to be famous. They don't teach you how to be rich or how to be poor. And I agree with him. Do you? They don't teach us that in school. And during the times that when we launch every educational event, we were always asked this, Kassy, does it come a certificate so that our company can reimburse it? And another one was, of course, I'm going to ask, what does that mean? Why are you going to ask me like how to be a parent and get a certificate? What? Okay, so they was going to say, because our HR don't support and include soft skills. Isn't that sad? So this is where we're also bootstrapping and also forming a Mentors Coach Connect. That's how we're saying it. I know it's not yet available, but this is what we're working on. We wanted you to become teachers. We wanted you to become mentors and be accessible to everybody. What if everything is just within the button and you can ask for a mentor and guide you through with no shame, no embarrassment, and no problem? We wanted you as leaders to also leave a legacy. Once you become a CEO, the question here is, what's next? What if you teach those who needs guidance? Why don't you share your wisdom? And at the same time, the youth also teaches us. And what about the youth? The youth can still have the best experience. They can still find their best friend. They can also build their character because you are there. You can create an incredible memory if you allow it, and also innovate and also study entrepreneurship and speak with experience rather than just theories. This is the world of unschooling. Before I end into my slides, my question here is, what if they can learn from you? What if? Have you ever asked yourself that? With your help and support and encouragement, there are a lot of things that can happen. Real quick, I'm just going to share this to you. There was a study as well that great employees quit the workspace not because of their bosses anymore. And these are the reasons. And it was also validated when we also sent in a survey. Would you imagine that the people nowadays leave because it's not always about the money? It was all because of the workspace. It is about the people that they work with, or the environment or the culture that the workspace is nurturing, or maybe the lack of. Just to recap, the new future of work, and there is also a study that by 2020, or more than 2020, automations is going to happen. However, you're forgetting that even if automation is happening, it is done and created by humans. Just to recap, I hope that when you say that you are a lifelong learner, I hope you allow it to also transform you and not because you're just there for a certificate. I hope when you say that I am into convenience, affordable, accessible education, I hope that you also support those who need it. I hope that you also nourish a community of lifelong learners where everybody gets to have an open mind and always have an open, empty cup to learn for more. And also, I hope that you will be able to share real life skills to those who need it, and also leave, build, and create a legacy. I hope you get to encourage people and support them towards what they need, what fulfills their hearts and interest. As leaders, the youth needs your visibility and your empathy. We can definitely do this together. Do you believe in lifelong learning and transformational growth? Can I see some raise of hands again? Do you believe in the magic of dreams? Yes. Do you want a happy workspace? Yes. And we need your help. I hope that we can talk more and get to learn from you too. Again, my name is Kassy. I am just like you, a human being who is here also for a mission, and I hope that you can help me help you drive your ambition. Thank you.